we've got our frame grouping here, and it includes type, material, finish, jam, and head. Now, at the moment, these are all text fields, and you can type in any values you wanted. With a key schedule, we can replace this type column with a schedule key, and then that key can have a pre-assigned material, finish, jam, and head. So by just simply choosing the type from a list, it will fill in the other four. So that's what we're going to build right now. So I'm going to go over here to the schedules and quantities grouping on the project browser, right-click, and choose new schedules and quantities. This is just an alternative way to doing it from the view tab of the ribbon. I'll select doors, but instead of creating a door schedule this time, see schedule building components, you just choose schedule key.
It can be used also for equipment schedules, air terminal schedules, all schedules. It's not just a door. This is how we can integrate architectural schedules into mechanical electrical schedules. Action.
Keys. Now it will suggest the name door style schedule. I'm going to call this door frame types. And for the key name, I want it to replace this type column here. So instead of just door style, I'm going to call this frame style. And then ultimately, we're going to change the heading to say type there. So it will be indistinguishable from what was already here. And I'll click OK. Now, the available fields that show up in a key schedule are any built-in system parameters that are text fields. So it's a somewhat limited collection of parameters that are eligible to be included in a key schedule. So let me say that again. These are system parameters that are text fields. So I want to add each of the fields that I want this key to add for me, and I'm going to add them in the same order that we see them back here in the schedule. So I'm going to add the frame material first, then the frame finish, and then the jam and the head. Again, if you add them in the wrong order, you can use the move up and move down. Now I'll click OK, and that will create a new schedule. Now this schedule is completely empty. A key schedule does not automatically add any entries. You have to add each entry manually. So I'm going to come over here to the rows panel, click my insert dropdown, and choose data row. Now, if you have the latest update to Revit installed, you'll have a separate data row button, but it works exactly the same way. So instead of an insert dropdown, it'll just have a data row button that you can add. It's going to suggest the key name 1. I'll just name this AA. The frame material, I'm going to put hollow metal. The frame finish, I'm going to put paint. The jam detail, I'll put 1 on A601 and the head detail 2 on A601. I'm kind of making this information up, but I want you to see it in action. I'm going to add one more data row. So I'll just start with 2 entries here just so you can kind of see how this works. Now I'm going to go back to...
Oops. Okay, so for this example, what we are learning from this and what we're getting from this tutorial is that if we have like, maybe equipment, fan coil unit, airflow value or size, or text, just a text parameter that is typical, maybe like comments, manufacturer, like that, we can now create a key schedule to pre-populate all those information rather than go to the schedule and then type one by one, then select again, select the key name column, select the frame material column, and then input the parameter information and frame finish, maybe like that, for indoors frame types, or in the equipment schedule types, key frame, key, So I think I did not use this one, but it would be a new addition to the BIM process to make it smarter, to work smarter and easier and faster.
The door schedule, and I need to make a quick modification there. At the moment, this type column is just a text field, and you can type in anything you want. What I want to go to the Edit Fields button here for this schedule, and I'm going to take the frame type field here and remove it. Then, if you look over here at the list, notice that the frame style field is available. This is the field that I created for my key schedule, and I'll add that to my schedule. Now, that came in below the frame material, so I'll just move it up, and then I'll click OK. Now, it jumped over here by itself instead of grouping in with the header. So what I'm going to do is click in this header and remove it by ungrouping it. Then I'll drag through all of these again, group them, and retype my header. So sometimes you have to do that. Now, notice here that it says none. So currently there's no frame style selected. But if I open up this list, the 2 entries that I put in my key schedule are listed there. And when I choose one, it will fill in all the other values. If I choose a different one, it will fill in all the other values. So it makes the data input much easier for the end user. Now, you may not be able to put in all the key entries directly in your Office Standard template. It depends on whether or not you always use the same frame type designations and the same materials or not. But if you just put a few in to suggest to your users what the intention is, they can kind of take it from there, and it will greatly speed up the data input, particularly when you have hundreds and hundreds of items on schedule. You can use this for any kind of schedule that has manual text fields that are system families. So the reason I'm stressing that is, unfortunately, on our room finish schedule, these custom fields, even though they're text fields, those can't be input with a key schedule. So that's a limitation that I hope will be rectified in some future release. But for the time being, you'll still have to manually input